educational video. Today we'll be discussing a first aid course. This video will benefit novice trainers as well as experienced trainers who feel that there may be a method of delivering training in another manner. As a novice trainer, it is often difficult to know where to start in delivering your first few courses. It is important to consider the following aspects when delivering training to adults, as often trainers have presumptions that the students are all the same level of comprehension and have the same capacity to complete the course. Adults are often apprehensive of attending a course and can feel that they might fail the course, or even worse, look silly in front of their workmates. You have to acknowledge this if you are going to deliver training to adult participants. Some trainers believe that they must deliver first aid training in a very technical manner and the participants need to remember every detail in the first aid course. This, combined with using PowerPoint presentations rather than having a practical doing things course, can make it unenjoyable for participants, thus making your course difficult to attend. Courses that are technical, such as confined space training, where the trainer might want to emphasise gas percentages that can lead to death, benefit from using a PowerPoint presentation. But courses such as a first aid course, any use of the PowerPoint presentation should be limited to about 10 slides. On our website, we supply PowerPoint presentations for all first aid related courses, but strongly suggest that these are not used in your class. They are not mandatory to be used and should be avoided if possible in a flexible delivery option course. The training should be entirely practical that build on the skills and have the participants demonstrate on a number of occasions the assessments required throughout the day. In first aid, the level required to apply these skills in the workplace is to encourage first aiders to learn the skills and knowledge if and when an emergency happens. If, as a trainer, you're insisting on verbatim reciting of the content contained within the first aid manual, then sadly you may have one dissatisfied client, possibly lost forever. You cannot be a successful first aid trainer if your participants do not learn the confidence to have a go when an incident occurs. Show me and I learn. Tell me and I will not remember. In our experience, the most successful trainers are those who engage the students, thus enabling them to learn. This allows the participants to laugh and giggle throughout the class, therefore allowing the participants to gain confidence as they attempt to succeed learning more life skills. When you see students sitting on chairs, listening to how it should be done, or watching endless PowerPoint presentations, you very seldom see any signs of enjoyment from that student. But that trainer probably thinks he/she has done a splendid job. We have labelled this condition as overtrain. Students do finish the course, and it's like they've been put through the ringer and are so glad that it's over. This is not what you want as a professional trainer. At the course, plan to arrive early to deal with any unforeseen issues. Once you arrive, if the students are unfamiliar with the location of the training, put up signs to direct them to the training room and to welcome them. Do this even if you've provided directions with their enrolment confirmation emails. It will provide reassurance and create a welcoming atmosphere. If the students are familiar with the location, make sure you get some time in the training space to own it before the students come in. Place a notice on the door welcoming students to the training and open the door when you are ready. You must understand that students make up their minds within about 5 seconds of walking into the classroom. They may have not even spoken to you yet, but they have formed an opinion of you and your capacity to deliver the type of training experience they need. Yes, I did say experience, as they may be frightened about the training and are looking for reassurance about the process. If you, as a trainer, fail to understand where they are coming from, then your training delivery may be poor and perhaps the training may not be up to the speed of the students and therefore you will not be on the same page. It is important that you have the structure right, and that is what starts your presentation. You have to look smart and, if possible, in a company uniform. Remember that students want to know who the trainer is when they walk into the training room. Introduce yourself and make yourself known. It is extremely vital that you get to the course early, set up your classroom adequately, and have refreshments, tea and coffee ready for them. If you are still setting up the class, then they will think that you are unorganised, and they may not change his opinion throughout the day. Think about your own experience. You do the same. Make judgments about people in your daily life. As the students enter, introduce yourself. If possible, try to remember their name. A good way of remembering people's name is to associate the student's name with someone who's in your life. For example, a student called Barry arrives, and you have an uncle called Barry. Just think of Uncle Barry each time you talk to that student. There are many other examples to remember people's names that you may prefer to use. Introduce yourself and appear confident. Look professional and direct them to where the process is that you are completing. For example, checking POI, creating USI, completing electronic enrolment forms, or even where the tea coffee machine is. The best way, especially for public courses or where a number of students don't know each other, is to get the students to take control and introduce each student to new students who are arriving. This allows the students to communicate and gain rapport with each other before the class starts. Whilst a number of students will find it awkward to introduce themselves and talk about themselves, this will be the starting point. You could use communication games to get the student to talk to each other, work in teams, always rotate teams so that everyone gets to know each other. You could get the class to select their own group first, and then for the next group, you need to have the least amount of people from the same group together again. As each subsequent student arrives, you would just repeat the same, and therefore everybody is treated equally. If the students don't know each other, it is a good opportunity to say, Barry, this is Margaret. Margaret, this is George, etc. This reinforces to the students that they are in fact important because you have remembered their name. We are advocates for starting on time, including before and after breaks. There are several reasons for this. The students know that you mean business and also makes coming back from lunch a lot easier. In your initial introduction to the full class, it is important to tell people what's expected of them during the day. You would include such aspects as fire evacuation, mobile phone use, break times, and the expected finish time. It is also very important to talk about the assessments and practical components, but try to refrain from using the word exam. Explain that the assessments are easy, that we assess them during the day on their practical first aid tasks. It's not like the old bad days. Modern training is about working with them to make sure that they can demonstrate their skills by the end of the training. Explain how assessments are completed during their practical tasks and that you're assessing them during this process. Adult students need to know what's expected of them and what time they are finishing. Assessments should be a process that allows the student to be most at ease whilst you are conducting the assessment of skills, and should be a progressive function throughout the course. In your initial introduction, you should also tell people that you've got a lot to get through. The course is very comprehensive and there is a lot of skill-based work to do. Let them know that if they ask advanced questions outside the first aid course and off topic, you will need to apologise in advance because we won't have time to go off in a tangent. If it does happen at any stage, you could then say, Barry, remember when I mentioned questions outside the first aid are not directly related to the topic? Well, this is one of those questions. We have to move forward, but if you have interest in developing your skills further to the advanced level, you may want to consider coming back next week to do the advanced course. Another suggestion is that you may like to ask students what topics they would like to cover in more detail from the workbook. This gives you an opportunity to write these on the board and wipe off as each topic is covered. You will soon realise that majority, if not all of the topics written here, would have already been covered. However, any that are left can be discussed after class, or an email could be sent to those who are interested. You should always give the students an opportunity to introduce themselves, as this gives them a brief opportunity to explain to you and the class about their previous experiences, and if they have attended previous first aid courses. When the students start their introduction, this gives you an opportunity to size up your students and to look for any potential issues. This gives you enormous information and also reinforces their name, which will help during the course. Emphasise the name. Thank you, Marie. That was a great story. We also encourage the students to finish their introduction with the phrase, "And I'm going to have a great day today." Make them repeat the statement if they do not say it with some vigour. They'll all get the message and you have led the group into a fun learning experience. It is vital that you are able to get some background knowledge from the students at these introductions. This indicates to yourself if there are potential troublemakers in the class. It is from our experience that we find successful people do not generally big note themselves. It is usually only the wannabes that would tell you stories, such as, "I was an EMT firefighter in America, and I was there for 9/11. I carried 12 people down the stairs and have been involved with first aid for 20 years. A novice trainer hearing this for the first time may be intimidated. Those people, nurses, paramedics, heroes that have been there and done that, would most likely not tell you anything about their past, but simply attend the class and participate. How many war heroes do you hear that big note themselves? The early self-introductions help you investigate any potential issues before your class has begun. Although you may not feel intimidated, students may see that person as the person who has the knowledge and should be listened to and not you. So you have to change the balance, especially if he/she starts to interfere in the course. Difficult students. Before you start the course, you must understand that you may open the door to potential problems with a few basic mistakes. Your attitude towards every aspect of the student's journey can dictate their attitude. Here are a few examples. Example 1. Student, I am not impressed that you made us get a USI number for this course. It is a complete waste of time. Wrong answer. Yep, you are right. It's Big Brother watching over you. You will not know what they do next. Your answer has opened the door to negativity. Your answer should have been, it may be a bit of a nuisance, but there are so many advantages. It's designed to stop fraudulent certificates being issued. It keeps a record of all the training that eventually employers will only accept certificates listed here. And it allows you to be able to get a copy of your attendance if your RTO closes down. So all the benefits are there for you. Example 2. Student, I am not impressed that I have completed a pre-course study and now you tell me that I also have to complete a written exam at the end of the day? Wrong answer. I did not design the course and I don't understand that either, but that's the rules. Again, your answer has opened the door to negativity. Your answer should have been, the course is designed to help you deal with an emergency when it happens. This could be in a few years, and this course encourages a continual learning experience, and that's better than having a course that does not help you by providing the skills and knowledge required. I am proud to be associated with an RTO that ensures that you learn from the training instead of a tick-a-flick approach that other organisations take. If you have a class that are going to be obviously a little bit disruptive, then your expected finish time would be expanded. As an example, you're expecting to finish at 4. Then you could tell the students that you expect to finish at 4:30, but if we can get through the course without too much trouble, perhaps we might even finish at 4. Then, if you finish at 3:30, you become a genius and probably with not too much disruption. You could also tell people that you are paid by the hour, so a longer course won't hurt. In today's world, mobile phones have the capacity to voice record and video you whilst you're at the course. Therefore, you have to consider that you have to be non-political about everything. As an example, if you were to state that the collection of USI is Big Brother watching you, and the government shouldn't have done this, then this could be embarrassing if the trainer was put this video up on YouTube for everyone to watch. You should make no reference to any political, economic, social, or ethical comment, and you should never talk about anything to do with sex, sexual suggestive comments, religion, or politics above your own and in any way your own view. A course can be sure to be recorded and used against you. The best advice is to not say anything that can be used against you. Thank you for watching the first half of our educational video on conducting your first course. Please stay tuned for the second half, which will provide further information